Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the rank 1 Terran in the world. In the red, from Team Liquid, we have Clem. Facing off against arguably the best Protoss out there in the blue, the Smiling Assassin. It's Hero. In a best of 3 Terran versus Protoss showdown. One of their first meetings on the new StarCraft 2 balance patch. Yeah, we got a new patch, some new maps. In the same way, me begging you to smash that like button. Maybe even subscribe. Help me out of the algorithm. And Jimmy, what do we have? 1,728 likes on this video, on this cast, and I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways, because I don't know what else I do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. As one of the oldest and one of the youngest players in StarCraft 2 facing off yet again. Over 10 years of age separate them, but I feel like Clem ages at least 10 years every time they meet. I've never seen anyone, not Cyril, not MaxPax, not Raynor, who has been able to get in Clem's head and twist it all around in the way that Hero seems to on a regular basis. I think part of this is because Clem, as one of the best Protoss players in the world himself, has an idea of how Protoss is supposed to play, which is something Hero may not. So, the first Stalker comes out, but oh, Citizen's Arrest, locked inside. He's gonna get a second probe kill. The Stalker stalking that Reaper to death, but oh, what are you doing? Okay, well, let's break it down. We got a minute. So the Reaper comes in, gets 2 probe kills. Twilight Council over halfway done. And that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to build a Twilight Council. You go blank. You kind of poke and prod around. Maybe a circle jerk with a warp prism for a while. Everybody's excited, but nobody's happy about it. Don't question it. That happens sometimes. But so Hero, in one of the most Hero moves, well, besides walking up and killing the only Marine, and then doing a little ring around the rosy and going right back the other side, cancels his over halfway done Twilight Council and just goes Stargate. This is one of those, why don't players just do this sort of Twitch chat, YouTube comments that the backseat grandmasters are always like, well, why don't you use their information against them? And you know what? Heroes just decided spontaneously to go Stargate. Unless somehow his plan from the very start was let the Reaper get in and then kill it after your Twilight. You don't do this. The sheer amount of time you lose and the amount of map control, though, again, Hero's great at... Hero really... okay, yeah, we're gonna get back. That's more like it. You want to make sure that patrol pathing is consensual. So, he's going Phoenixes. And that, I think, will absolutely blindside Clem. Unfortunately, Clem is going Cloak Banshees, which may much more literally blindside Hero. So we're off to a confusing start as Hero once again slaps down the Twilight Council. We're just gonna have to see where it goes from here. Now, usually, I'd like to offer some sort of basic analysis of the game and how it's supposed to play out, like how we do in Clem versus MaxPax, where both players are essentially 2 sides of the same incredibly experienced and pinpoint precise coin. But here, Clem is kind of refining, and he's preparing for Blink Stalkers. The fact that the Blink Stalkers haven't showed up has him so suspicious. He's building a second bunker. You know what bunkers are good against? Phoenixes. The Phoenixes will fly over. And there's a probe on the way for... Is he gonna just build a... Okay, he's going for the attack. Clem, will he just cancel the bunker? Maybe let it finish. You can always salvage it, but... So, now Clem, with a cloak... Unfortunately, Hero, in drunkenly swerving around his build order, now has absolutely no detection. And dozens of probes will be killed by a single Cloak Banshee. Hero, in his... fit of inspiration, is now gonna have trouble with any economy at all. The Banshee will run out of energy and targets before there will be any detection. An Oracle is now done, but the Banshee gets knocked out of the sky because it got everything So Hero, once again, is hurting himself in his own confusion. Well, that wasn't really hurting himself. Clem did it for him. Clem was confused, but he still did a ton of damage anyways. And now Hero's just gonna attack with a bunch of gateway units. Clem just salvaged his bunker, because why would you be attacking right now? Hero says, why not? And just like that. Meanwhile, slashing in, gonna go straight for the front. Oracle leading the charge. Speaking of charge, the Zealots on the front line with charge completed. The boys are pulled. Stasis mid-fight. Gonna pop off and catch some of the Marines. Doesn't work on the missile turret. Lifts up the Cyclone. There's no anti-air to stop that single Phoenix. And is it working? Well, he runs out of Zealots. Mules will drop. 15 SCVs dead. Hero has retaken the worker lead somehow. Hold position makes those Zealots very confused as to what their target should be. A siege tank on the high ground, almost out of energy. Widow Mine knocks another Phoenix out of the sky. More Widow Mines, another Zealot. He lifts up behind his own supply depots because he doesn't want to risk opening the door for the Protoss who might not even understand such concepts. Stim is now finally done, and I have no idea what just happened, and I would be hard-pressed, and you would struggle to convince me that anyone else does either. So, Hero is ahead on supply and workers. He now has charge done. He's getting +1 air weapons. What? He's continuing on the Phoenixes. And now with the balance patch, Vikings are now significantly cheaper than Phoenixes. Now 25 minerals cheaper than they were. 125.75 compared to 150.100. But my gabbers are flasted right now. Clem is trying to find the Oracle comes back and burns away a few more. It's gonna get a couple more SCVs. Yeah, some nice micro out of Hero. And keeping the Marines back at home. So the kind of casual Stargate. Again, the Forrest Gumpian school of Protoss. That Hero is a professor slash spirit guide of. Has somehow meandered its way into the lead. Though Clem does have a whole bunch of mines, Marines, Marauders, Medivacs, and tanks to make this up. The M build here, and you may have one shot, possibly, at least one opportunity to make good on it. But we'll see if he's able to capture it or if it will slip through the ever-closing window. Meanwhile, the mines. Hero 1, 2. And is he out of energy? No, he got him! He actually juggled it perfectly, and he gets all 4 mines. No Minecraft for you, young man. Hero was already 15 years old by the time that game came out. Minecraft actually a lot younger than, I think, at least I realized, but like 2009 or something. This game is barely younger than it. Anyways, do they have StarCraft 2 and Minecraft? Probably. Or it's a mod on StarCraft 2. Both are plausible. Meanwhile, there's approximately one... Alright, let me check my numbers. Fuck ton of charge lots on the ground. What are you doing? Hero has 28 Zealots. Ah, the Star Charge build. Hero with mass Phoenix Zealot up against whatever Clem is able to bring against him. But he still has the Oracle. And Clem does not enough boots on the ground, especially when half of them are lifted into the air by the Phoenixes. The Medevac's chasing, but the Zerglots here are chasing even more quickly. The charges just... Oh, no. That's a lot of damage from the Widow Mines. Autumn colors, appropriately so, from the Zealots, but... Clem driven back yet again, while Hero starting to take the map for Nexi. Only 63 probes, but he's only building Zealots, and he's only on 6 gateways, which is really not that many in the grand scheme of things, but 34 Zealots. +1 attack and +1 flyer attack are the upgrades right now. Clem scrambling to deal with the Phoenixes, and if he moves too far out of position, it'll be easy enough for this gang of charge lots to just come roving in. Has to be so careful. Storm is on the way. And the Marine's gonna be picked up, dropped back down dead. But the Phoenix is getting whittled away by the Marines. Of course, as Ghosts come out. Ghosts with 25... Okay, I saw some of the comments. I didn't think it would become relevant. But technically, since Ghosts are light units, Phoenixes do more damage to them. If they can lift them up. Which, you know, because they're Ghosts makes it a little difficult. But and also, Ghosts do bonus damage to them like they do all light units. So... But this is... Leave it to Hero to find the relevant situation in which Phoenixes... Well, essentially, which non-Colossi help to counter Ghosts. I'm still not very convinced that they're going to be a major factor here, as the Phoenix count is already down to 4, and most of them are bruised. There are 38 summons. And, well, he's adding in some Templar now. The Phoenix patrol paths to try to spot for any medevac slipping by. I don't know why I struggled to figure out what that might be, but... Zealots absolutely everywhere. But the EMP is a bit dangerous. Charge lots have 50 shields and 100 HP, which means the EMP is not as devastating, I guess, than as it is against some other units, but still obviously cuts down on a lot of the effective HP. Some Vikings in production, as I'm not sure what he's dealing with. Though, maybe a bit of a premonition, as there's a fleet beacon for Hero back at home, even while he's putting the pressure on with the charge lots. Carriers? I'm not a big fan of carriers against Terran. Well, in general, honestly, carriers kind of pale in comparison, but the Templar have arrived! The Cape Boys! With their fancy capes and much less fancy storms. Somehow, and a hallucinating Colossus, because also, why not? Some more Templar gliding across, like this is a direct strike game. Honestly, Hero plays like it's direct strike sometimes. Storms around the edges. Storm with more radius, more damage, but over a greater amount of time. So the overall DPS is lower, but it's a more dangerous force field. Of course, it also has lower cast range by 1, which means EMP is more likely to land before the storms are cast. In my opinion, this is a pretty significant nerf against Terran, but a bit of a buff against Zerg, which doesn't have EMP, guns, or much HP on their units at all. Is that a mothership? Hero's making a mothership against Terran, and he's going Tempest as well, trying to preempt any sort of mass Liberator play. The Widow Mine's doing a tsunami of splash damage across the charge lots. Hero. Are you not entertained? The Storm's probably doing more damage to the Zealots than they did to the Bio there. That's another thing is Protoss players as well adjusting to the fact that Storm takes so long to dissipate is very clear. With Charge lots have always had a rough working relationship with many of the splash damage units, aside from Colossi. And that continues to be true, if not worse. True, if not worse. Expelled. It was funny. Please like and subscribe. Mothership nearly completed with now its cool animation. That was in the patch notes as a visual. It has arrived. Meanwhile, the scan will spot the suspected switch. But Terran Clem going right down the center. The armies of Hero are disjointed, to say the least. There's not enough energy for recall, but Templar converging. Another couple dozen charge lots actually splits off against the Widowmons. The Storm potential is very good. Some of the Ghosts are going to be cut down, but 2 bases exposed. We're doing something of a base trade. 1 taken down. Clem down to 4. Meanwhile, Nexi being targeted, but a wave will be warped in. EMP on the Vikings, but here come the Tempest, and Mama's home. Meanwhile, the beams lancing out. And remember, he already got the +1 air weapons earlier. Knocks down a medevac with all hands. Another one badly bruised will be able to unload. Clem with a tactical pause in the midst of all this. But we don't wait for anyone here. Let's go. What a timing for a pause. Meanwhile, though, somehow we've gone from the ground to the air quite smoothly. As Hero pumping out the Tempest, and Clem already with some Vikings on the field, and now building 4 at a time. Snipes, knock, oh, dodges with the merge. The EMPs will wash over it. Time warp. The Archons will be taken out. That was a pretty slick dodge there, but the EMPs still make easy work of the Archons. The Tempest shelling. Gotta be careful not to overkill too hard. Mothership shield stripped away. Is there enough anti-air to chase? I think more than enough. The Ghosts can shoot up as well. The Mothership is knocked down. Not enough energy for additional storms. The Tempest can't damage very quickly. Are we seeing Ghosts counter Tempest? I mean, Tempest take another shot to kill them now, so... Not that it's that many shots in general. What a topsy-turvy. Well, Clem doing exactly what you might expect of a Terran, and Hero is also here. The Tempest count is so damn high. A single Templar underneath. 10 Tempests up against 6 Vikings. How's the income? About even. Cloak can line up the shot. Wait, does he have a nuke? A scan knocks out the Templar. The one thing that was... Oh, no! Oh, this is bad. Tempests do not thrive on their own. They're social creatures. And the EMP strips away the shields. More Tempests coming in. But how do you kill the Ghosts? Like, that's the scariest part of all this. Who you gonna call, Hero? Here's like, I'm a millennial. I don't pick up the phone, let alone use it. All right, you can text me or email me. True. Meanwhile, the Marauders actually chunking through and get the robotics facility. That was the only one. But the Ghosts remain unchallenged on the field. 13 Ghosts, 2 supply apiece instead of 3. Means now 50% more Ghosts. Hero rebuilding his Robo. So now he has to rebuild the Robo and get a Robo Bay if he wants Colossi. Maybe we go back to the Phoenixes. The problem is Ghosts counter the Phoenixes. The EMP prevents them from using that lift up to very technically do bonus damage to Ghosts. And Hero, it feels like he's kind of swerved around Clem throughout this game, finding weak points and creating attack opportunities that neither player really realized were there. But Clem has held it together and now has a 20 supply lead. And Ghosts and Vikings against Stalkers and Tempests. He has more than enough supply to split off and knock out some of the outlying bases while challenging the main army. Jams himself in behind the mineral line. Makes it so the Zealots don't even have a chance against it. There's a forge here for some reason. Heroes had 3-2-1 upgrades, with the one being air weapons, of course. EMP on half a dozen Templar. And by that I mean 3, and now by that I mean 0. The Vikings chasing down the Tempest. Oh no. It's all crumbling down. Hero never really put together an army that could beat Clem's. I'm not exactly sure what that army would look like in the current patch. But this definitely wasn't it. It's not over yet. Hero, I would say Hero has come back from more dramatic scenarios. And he probably has. But this would be up there. Both flavors of Cloak this game for Clem. The Ghosts and the Banshees. Our Matrix map. Yeah. Terran's going back to 1999, which is predates Clem himself, but... Marines... Vikings, the Goliaths of the sky. Vikings are 100% Goliaths, but in Transformers mode, and you won't convince me otherwise. The gateway unit's just not enough right now for Hero. He had... It felt like there was a time, like there was a chance for Hero to just grab this one away from Clem, like he's done so often. But Clem held it together, and he eventually got the momentum, and more importantly, And more relevantly, the ghosts. 14 of them now. Fusion Core is on the way. That feels like an exclamation point rather than a continuation. As Clem is maxed out, Hero is not. Oh, Hero. Here's the thing about Hero as well. Even when he's down 50 supply, part of the reason he has a chance is because he fights like he's not. It's unclear whether he acknowledges that he's down that much supply, but sometimes you can get a better position by just acting like you have one. But in this case, he can fake it, but he can't make it. As there's just not enough. Hero never got a Robo Bay. He never really had a critical mass. The Templar preempted by the ghosts. Clem building 5 ghosts at a time. I wonder if having 25 more HP is a buff or a nerf. Impossible to tell. As Clem powers through. Hero with an on-brand game, but unfortunately not strong enough to tilt Clem out of it. Just cancels that started with canceling the Twilight Council when it was over halfway done, into going Stargate, into losing like a, you know, it might have looked kind of different at the end, but remember how Hero was down over 10 workers because he just had no detection against the Cloak Banshee? Yet the game went on another like 20 minutes. Hero. Game 2. Ruby Rock. One of our smaller maps from the map contest, and Clem with a suspiciously timed... that's a proxy Rex. Disgusting. Marauders? Yeah, not an NG Bay block. I mean, I guess he could still, but... The probe sent out after gate, so not the earliest, but definitely not the latest. He's going to know that, well, the lack of information is information in and of itself. He's going to know there's no barracks on the other side of the map. He's going to see the gas timing. He should be able to put it together. Now, the question is, what does he do with it? He's not going to be able to stop the barracks from completing, but... well, yeah. And he's scouting this before he ever committed to a Nexus, before he has any pylons on the low ground. There's about as much time as possible to prepare. So the second pylon is going to be near to the ramp, likely for shield. It's Reapers. Interesting. Don't you... slaps down a bunker? The zoning bunker? It's been a little while since I've seen this. Huh. Why did I say it like that? That was a bit off that word, like it was something unpalatable, but you know what? The Protoss can't palatable anything at all, because they don't have mouths with which to tell me that was a very dumb sentence. So, yeah, take that. So, me... Proxy Stargate counter. Hero gonna fight fire with fire until the whole world is burned, or this sector is burnt to ashes around him. Yep, there's a Stargate on the way. No. Hero's not finding a way to break out. He's finding a way to break in. Okay. All right. For 2 games in a row, Hero whips out the Stargate. And now we see what he does with it. Is this going to be a Void Ray? I mean, why not, I guess. The bunker being repaired. The SCV not going to be enough to save. Well, just barely. Void ray, void ray, void ray, void ray! A void ray is in production, chrono boosted by a hero outside the natural. This could be a very precarious position. Why did I go newscaster with it? I really went all the way in the other direction. And now it looks like Hero is opting for a void ray, but will the cyclone be completed in time? Now let's think about the environmental damage that proxying a Stargate could do to the natural habitat of, it looks like a dead asteroid with no life. But still, think of the aesthetic value. The probe gets in and will block the ramp. Oh, Proteus! One probe to rule them all! And now the supply depot dies! And here comes Hero! Locks onto the void ray, but there's a shield battery back there to sip on. He didn't actually go all the way back. He's just building a pylon in his base. Targets the probe, but that's going to cost him the lock-on. Wait, can you build the Cyclone if it's supply blocked like that? Because he started it before he lost it. I don't actually know how that works. Yes, he started it in queue beforehand. I guess it counts. But kind of an odd scenario. Meanwhile, the Stalkers, Citizens Arrest, the SCVs, the Void Ray, taken down, mutually assured destruction, though, and the Cyclone is being hunted to the ends of the earth. JJ, Hero, takes it all back. He gets proxy raxed, and he takes it to the next level in the most literal sense of the word. When you go low, he goes high, and the Void Ray rains down. Hero. Well, you best not get down in the mud with him, because he'll beat you with experience. Hero's proxy easily outclassing Clem's commitment. Clem was going for the economic kind of zoning bunker, and Hero went for everything. So through all the fire and fury, Hero ties up the series 1-1. Let's go. Game 3, Tyto Citadel. Hero sending out a probe at the 0-second mark. Huh. Where are you going? What? Is this a Max Packs build? Like the original Max Packs build, where Max Packs discovered you could just build a gateway out on the map? He sent it out, and then he did it. He built the pylon as soon as he had 100 minerals. And now he has a second probe. Is he gonna build a pylon in the base? What is this? Why the second? Well, the second probe was for the gate, but... He's gonna proxy Stargate again! Oh! Oh, Hero. But remember when I said Clem would age 10 years by the end of this? That was incorrect. It's at least 20. Is he gonna build a cyber core there? Don't do that. I mean, where else are you gonna build it, though? There's only 2 pylons on the map, and neither of them are in Hero's base. But Clem did not SCV scout, and that could cost him. Yeah. And probe just going around. And who sends a second probe, alright? Hero sent out 2 probes. Clem sent out 0 SCVs. A Zealot comes out of the gate. So, just... Oh, he's going for the SCV. He's trying to buy as much time as possible here. It is a 2-gas. There's the Stargate. 3 for 3 on Stargate builds from Hero. And none of them have been Stargate builds. They've all been, fuck it, we'll do it live, sort of Stargates. 2 proxies and 1 post-Twilight cancel. Today's Stargate day. I'm glad Hero's finishing his daily quest of Stargates, all in one series. Now Now, the downside of this build, of course, is that you have no units in your main. But the Adept is going to make good on that. It's a little suspicious that there's no gateways in the main base either, which I think he's now realizing. Clem, rather. Another Void Ray. But there's going to be a Widow Mine. Already completed by the time the Void Ray arrives. The Zealot is spotted, by the way. Sitting there menacingly. And Widow Mine, too late. The Reaper, well, Adept gonna come up, but 4 Marines should be enough. Does he try to damage the mine some more? He does. The Void Ray is done. Surprise! He's trying to target it. He's going for the Marines. He gets the mine. There's no shield battery back here, but the Void Ray comes in again. Clem already had, like, he has enough Marine. Hero over microing, because the Void Ray is like a soft lock-on, where if you're pointed in the right direction, it will continue firing. Magfield Accelerator is the choice for Clem. And Cyclones with additional, yeah, he's had a bit more time to prepare, as this time around, Clem's barracks was in his own base, which is a key difference. There's nothing to defend in Hero's main. Oh, wait. The Adept was blended in with those probes, so... solidly. Meanwhile, the Oracle. But the Cyclone and the Viking, is that enough? From downtown. Down it goes. Lights up the Void Ray. And unfortunately, it just kind of slows it down here. Gonna try to chase it down, but I can't help but feel that Hero fumbling this one. It's bobbling right now. And a couple more lock-ons, and it could all go completely sideways. The Vikings knock down one Void Ray. Stalker hunted by a Cyclone. And it seems like Hero may have flown a bit too... he found a gold base. He's expanding there. But Clem, it's 20 supply lead at the 5-minute mark, which is, you know, it does not bode well. GG! I didn't think it needed commentaries. We watched the death of Hero. Hero! Living and dying by the Void Ray. Just like a 4v4 player in the Gold League, and bringing us to our anti-spoiler bonus game. Yes. Like, how does this possibly go on for more than that amount of time? The answer? It doesn't. But now... You remember that game on Ruby Rock? You know who's going to get a chance to show off how to play Protoss on that map? Clem. The next match played afterwards. Clem against Beyond. Clem as Protoss. This was played less than an hour after that last series. I thought it'd be an appropriate addendum to see if Clem learned anything or if he's pointedly ignoring it. And also, you know, I don't know if you can learn from Hero. I don't even know if Hero can learn from Hero. But Hero being eventually slapped down after getting a little bit too bold. Clem puts him back in lowercase and moves on. But again, you can really tell why Hero has a much higher win rate than Max Packs. Because we're going to have that conversation again. All the best Protoss who didn't just play part-time like Clem, have been kind of insane. Like, literally, at least in their play style, if not their personality. Crazy people. All right. Like, MC, Party, SOS, Zest, Hero. 5 of the best Protoss in StarCraft 2 history. And all either in whole or in part. Crazy people. All right. Some walking the walk, some just in game, like Zest, looking like he didn't care about a single game he played, and then playing like it. And somehow, like, Hero reminds me so much of Zest. unfortunately, Zest will not be coming back to us. He decided to make a rational decision. Actually, move on, unfortunately. Which is, you know, not the personality type. But Clem, on the other hand, is Max Pack's... Like, he's like Max Pax's evil twin now, in my opinion. Because Clem and Max Pax have played against each other so much. And when Clem started playing Protoss full-time over a year ago, it wasn't just... It's not a phase, Mom. It's called phase shift. Actually, I don't know what the adept thing is called. Phase shift? Psionic transfer, I think, is the name. But yeah, good luck getting people to call it that. Either way, it's not a psionic transfer, Mom. I'm just working as Protoss part-time. Son, me and you both know... This is in French, this conversation, so I'm not going to do the accent. I'm not going to offend everyone at once, just most of them. Me and you both know that Terran and Protoss are the only two races in StarCraft 2, so you're going to have to play Protoss half the time. Yes, Mom, but it'll only take about a quarter of the practice. Watch Hero. Well, so Clem comes up, 2 Hellions, already and Clem going Stargate. Something that he has been very rare to do. Like, ever. As the Blink Stalkers are the, quote, correct way to play. But guess who was inspired? He's gonna give it a shot here. Honestly, both here... All 3 of these players, and then Max Pax also, the 4 horsemen of online tournaments. It is a very... It's an exception, not a rarity. Well, it is a rarity. It's definitely an exception if one of those 4 is not in the finals, if not 2 of those 4. So, honestly, I think especially Clem and Hero, treat them like practice. But these probes, on the other hand, gonna be treated like today's barbecue. Unfortunately, the barbecue was not preheated enough. And, because the Protoss don't know how barbecues work because they don't have mouths. Didn't really tie that all together, but Beyond completely shut down on the Hellion run by. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like practice. Like, they play tournaments like this like the ladder. Because there's no one who can compete with them on the ladder. You know who the #1 Protoss on the European ladder is? It's Clem! Most of the time, his MMR is higher than Max Pax. His MMR, his Protoss, is higher than his Terran. That sometimes is interchangeable. But we don't have the technology yet to make Clem play against himself, which gives him a huge advantage over every other Protoss, making his Protoss versus Terran win rate higher than anyone in the world. It is quite a scenario. But can he defend against Widow Mines? Oh, the double target from Beyond knocks down another mine, picks up 1. The other mine, if I stand very still. Protoss vision is based on movement. This mine could actually... Oh, my. Oh, wow, it worked! Oh, no! He retargets to get 8... Oh, my! What a disaster! Clem didn't notice the 1 mine that was just kind of chilling while everyone else died. And 8 probes dead. Clem plummets to a 5-worker lead. What a mess. And breaks the lock with another Phoenix, but already takes a lot of damage. So Beyond manages to claw back a whole lot of the damage done. Was it enough? I doubt it. It is unlikely that balanced out what Clem was able to do on the other side, especially now considering Beyond is just now ramping up his production. This is the part of the game that is possibly the most boring to just casually watch, but is the most important to focus on as a player. When you're really ramping up your production, you're getting your tech, and how quickly you're able to do it while actually being safe. Like, if you just played no rush 10 minutes, it would be a problem for anyone. But there's the threat, especially as people like Hero have shown us, of being attacked at almost any time. So you always need to have that standing army, or floating, or whatever they do, in order to defend, while also progressing your tech. And that is the advantage of having the Phoenixes, usually, though he's not sending them out, is constantly keeping tabs. That and hallucinated Phoenixes, constantly keeping tabs on when the Terrans adding their racks, adding their upgrades, because if you can figure out when that production is being added on, you know you have at least like a minute 90 seconds until any of that kicks in. The quadruple threat, the stim, the combat shield, the 1-1 on the way now, but Clem is going to have Storm well before it. Something, now that I think of, oh, we saw Storm in game 1. It's just it really sucked against the Ghosts. Didn't do almost anything against Clem. But Clem still thinks it's worth getting. Clearly here against Beyond. Ghost Academy's on the way. The build-up phase continues. Is that a forward bunker? Oh, another one of those Twitch chat strategies. Like, why don't people just build a bunch more bunkers? And you know, honestly, I agree a little. Like, why don't they? They're almost free. I'm talking more like 200 supply. Then again, most Terrans fill in with planetary fortresses or just SimCity in general with more command centers, Beyond especially. But I think you could stand to build 3 or 4 more bunkers in the later game, especially when there's 2, 3, 4,000 minerals. Of course, the intent is to funnel the charge lots. You want to set up the Protoss army in a way that you don't have to micro too much away from it. As for the most part, especially if there are no Colossi, the Protoss army has generally less range than the Terrans. So I see Beyond embracing that. But the build-up has ended. The upgrades are done. Charge completed. 2-1 on the way for Clem. He's got 74 probes, 4 bases. Meanwhile, nothing. All right, nothing happening there. But the Chew Toy depots. Another Widow Mine. Ooh, that one's splashing over most of the mine, most of the charge lots, and some of the Phoenixes, but the Templar gliding forward. The Bio waiting out of the storms. A couple EMPs. And honestly, most of the army is Templar now. Not known for their direct fighting strength with their water balloons. Forced to back off. Clem tried to dive in, but now trying to rectify the mistakes that Hero made in his game against him, the late macro, where Hero was severely lacking in anything to directly deal with the ghosts. Just like Clem's about. Okay, you don't want to copy Hero too much. Loses the Warp Prism for effectively free. Sorry, I'm getting over being a little sick. All right, I slept for like 14 hours straight, which was great, but also not a good sign. I woke up, you know when you wake up and you're not sure whether it's AM or PM because it's dark out? That's most days for me, but like more than usual. Because I'm actually a vampire. Make sure to tune into the stream most nights at uncomfortable hours. On Winter Gaming TV. YouTube or Twitch. Oh, actually Twitch doesn't have the TV at the end. It's Winter Gaming TV on YouTube because Winter Gaming was taken by an Indian Call of Duty YouTuber who has like 300 subs and 3,000 videos and has been doing it for 10 years. So I respect the dedication, to be honest. Wow, look at that beautiful Factorio build in the main. I haven't played Factorio for... Don't stay on target! What was my target? Oh yes, the production level though. That was the more relevant part. 8 barracks, 2 starports factory. Now 4 bases for Beyond Clem. 5 bases himself. Another observer's knocked. What did you? He just shot his own cyclone. Honestly, we're kind of past the point cyclones have a lot of value, but he's not maxed out, so that feels a little premature. Constantly scanning. Gonna knock down whatever rocks are in the way, making Ruby Rock more like Ruby Rock less. A fleet beacon for Clem. And a second Stargate on the way. Going to try maybe that Tempest strategy. He's got the Colossi mixed in. Already Vikings for Beyond, but only 6 of them. And there's still some Phoenixes to help zone out the Vikings. So, not exactly the easiest scenario to engage. Beyond, gonna knock down the Phoenixes, shave away some of the charge lots, casually take out one of the observers that's strayed too close to the missile turrets, EMPs on the stalkers, and now the Storm zoning out both sides. Another observer! 4 observers dead. He's building 2 at a time. More forward missile turrets as the turrets per minute continues to raise. Clem just taking every nexus he can find. He's already got 5, going on 7. And Fusion Core already on the way. Beyond embracing that supreme late game. He's got the sensor towers, the missile turrets to zone out. He's got missile turrets and the factory itself past its expiration date as a production facility. Now just a glorified scout in the air to see if any warp prisms are going to try to sneak by. But with 3 missile turrets, he should be able to prevent any from warping in. Might be able to unload a couple units. Upgrades 2-2 for Beyond. +1 ship weapons working on 2. Meanwhile, Clem has +3-2 on the ground and about to finish +1 air. He's working on +3 armor and +1 shields. Fusion Core about to complete. What's the first choice? Well, he has to deal with all this first. And so far, we've kind of progressed even further than we saw in Clem versus Hero. But partially because Hero is never willing to let the game settle. Whereas Clem and Beyond seem to both be relatively content with their position. Beyond has less economy, less bases, but his army is, as Terran armies usually are at this stage of the game, outright stronger. But Clem is going to have more bases. He's got 10 gates. He's adding more cannons across the board. And at some point, Beyond is going to have to expand again. And I think that's when it becomes most important for Clem to deny it. Building armor on the way. Caduceus reactor. He went for it first. The medevac energy regen. Doubling it. Obviously very valuable. EMP. Feedback was good. EMP better. Archon merge denied. I'm fighting back to the south. Planetary Fortress has the overlooking Liberator as well. A nuclear missile is in production. Oh wow, that's a lot of orbital command. 7 orbitals. The bunker stalling things out. Exactly what it's intended to do. Clem slipping around might be able to knock out this Liberator. Meanwhile, the main army of Clem to the north. Oh, blinks forward, knocks out the siege tank. EMPs. Now Clem running into the issue of how he partitions his army against the Terran. He still only has 10 gates, which I would argue is a bit too low for the kind of style he's playing. 1,700 minerals, mining 2,600, 1,600. A nuclear launch is detected as Clem, the red dot, does he see it? Well, Clem, are you kidding me? What? No! What? The army! Direct hit from the nuclear missile! Half the army obliterated in a single hit, much of the rest badly bruised. Clem did not see it. He didn't expect a point-blank nuke. And Beyond ends up taking quite a supply lead. Not a critical blow, but certainly does not help the momentum of the Frenchman. He might have half the map, but he just lost well over half his army. 7,000 more resources. Like, how does he... And it was right on the screen. I moved to the camera. He loses almost 4,000 more minerals. and 1,000 more gas over the last minute or two. Another nuke is on the way. Beyond gonna try his luck again because he's feeling lucky. And who wouldn't after that? Wow. That was a rare Pokemon right there. I think in the grand scheme, still not a not a critical blow, but the fact he was able to get anything at all with the nuke besides just distracting Clem out of position. Clem brawling it out on the field. There's several more storms at the back. This is the focal point of the whole game right now. There's no other units on the map. No other units at any other location really going on the attack. But the Ghost count is starting to grow, and the Colossus count is non-existent. He's storming on the Ghost, but the Medivacs can heal right through it. In fact, the Ghost could just bathe in it. They have enough HP. And now Beyond, so he's tearing through the front line, giving Clem a taste of his own medicine. But Clem says, I can't taste anything at all. I've turned to Protoss and I have no mouth and I must balance fine. It's like, Clem, this is why we're here in this situation, is partially because of your balance line about Protoss. Phrased more eloquently than that, but let's be honest here. You watched Pig's video from a few months ago. Meanwhile, though, the Venn diagram of freedom, Clem still holding. The Tempest count not so high, it's cutting heavily into the main army. He's picking away one Viking at a time, but the Ghost count just so high. 11 Ghosts, and there's nothing here that's reliably able to kill them. Like, if he wastes Tempest shots on them, then the Vikings will start shelling. Knocks out 2, beautifully done. Another energy recharge. A zoning storm. Gotta be careful not to stray into your own storms. The Tempest knocked down by the Ghost Viking. The probes pulled, EMPs across the front line. Another storm on the Vikings. Are there any more to follow it up? He just wades right through. That's not a super pylon, it's a slow warp, and behind and Beyond is tearing through absolutely everything. The nuke opened up the attack on this base, and the army may eventually break through. After several minutes of brawling on the field, Clem finds himself in exactly the same scenario we put Hero in. Unable to find a response to the Ghost Viking Death Ball. And now, even though Clem seemed a bit more capable of contesting this Terran army, Beyond is up 40 supply. The EMPs are almost impossible to deal with directly. And Clem is forced to tap out. Beyond takes it after landing an actual nuke. And Clem, I love the inspiration from Hero, but I feel like he may have followed him a bit too accurately. So, hopefully you enjoyed Clem versus Hero and then Clem's best impression. I hope it made your day a little bit better, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Thank you for watching. If you got the means of motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But I hear liking and subscribing is still free, at least for now. So, thank you to our Mule Tier patrons, Bake Jager, Devin, Dor, Drac, Kate, Mario, Suit, for bringing in those extra minerals, and to everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck. Have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay chill.